Hello and welcome to a brand new Let's Play of Civilization 4 Beyond the Sword. I'm gonna play this because I'm gonna record this because I've been playing it a lot of my free time, and I think it would be fun to record. So we're gonna play on Noble, and I'm gonna play as Augustus Caesar. Augustus Caesar is my favorite leader, even though his traits aren't very good. I think Rome is fun, and I prefer his traits. We're gonna play on Pangea. As soon as I see it here. We're gonna play on a small map, so here's a funny trick for you guys. If you play on... the bigger the maps, the more AI you have, the harder the game is. So even if you play on a easier difficulty like Noble, or even if you play on a harder difficulty, one of the ways to make it easier and kind of cheat is to just have less AI. So that's kind of funny. So we're going to play with only these two options enabled. No vassal states, and we're going to turn choose religion on. Choose religion isn't a big deal, I just like it. It allows the human to cheat, kind of. And I'll talk about that later, probably. But not very much. No vassal states. I've been playing, as I said recently, this and not recording it. And the last like 2 or 3 games, peaceful vassals have played a big role in how the game went, and it kind of pissed me off quite a bit. So I'm just gonna turn them off now. I like war vassals. I think that is a fine mechanic, but the peace vassal mechanic in this game just kind of sucks. And I could complain about it, or I could just turn it off. And I'm just gonna turn it off. So here we are in Rome. This is... pardon me. This is an interesting start. We're going to want agriculture right away. I always go worker first. I'm not sure if that's the right thing to do, but especially when we have a resource that we are going to be improving shortly, which is corn. It seems to be the right decision, and we're going right for agriculture. So... we're up here in the northern hemisphere. That tells us something, but it doesn't tell us much. It tells us that we can't go up north, and there's probably no one up north, but there might be someone over here. We're on a Pangea. So we do have choose religions on. I said that choose religions allows the human to cheat rather than the AI, and the way we're cheating right now is Islam's been founded rather than any other religion, so it's more likely that there's a AI in the game which is slated towards founding Islam. So that might be Saladin, or it might be the Turks. And I don't believe Egypt is actually slated towards it, but it could. I don't think Persia is either, so it's probably it might be the Turks or the Arabians. So here's the Vikings. We're not happy to see this guy, I'll tell you that. Ragnar is a warmonger, for sure. He's not very effective at it, in my opinion. So there's a lot of AI that we would have been more upset to see. I'm glad I turned vassal states off, because here's Mansa Musa, of the Malinese. He did not found Islam. That tells us something. I think he also is slated towards founding it, but he did not. So Mansa Musa actually is the AI in the game with the most, that is most likely to become a vassal of another civilization. There's something about the way that they, the AI in this game literally have values which say like how much stronger or weaker you have to be to become your vassal peacefully, and the Malinese have the lowest out of all the AI in the game. So we're very happy that we turned that off, because nearly every game it seems that the Malinese stay small, and they end up someone's vassal, which is kind of a shame, because apparently The Malinese are one of the strongest civilizations in the game based on their bonuses. So here's Persia. I actually don't know much about this AI. I'm pretty sure this guy is pretty economically focused. He's financial and organized. He doesn't have a warmongering trait. I don't think we're worried about him. We don't know where Ragnar is, though, and we're worried about that. I think a city there would be pretty good, and we can probably get another one down here. Judaism's been founded. Probably by the same person who founded his zombies. Oh, no, Mansa Musa is swapped into it. Okay. So, if at all possible, we're just gonna get Judaism. So, here's what I was talking about before. We basically cheated to figure out that Saladin was in this game. We were guessing. It could have been any of the AI. It could have been Greece who founded Islam, because a bunch of civilizations aren't slated towards founding any religion. But Arabia is, and we just sort of guessed that Arabia might be in this game, and he was.
Push your shoulder to the wheel.
That was pretty lucky. We got a technology from that hut, which is the best possible thing you can get out of a hut. We're gonna get hunting. We'd really like to get masonry and some wonders, but the problem is, because we're industrious, we build wonders 50% faster. The problem is we don't see any of the resources that we'd like to exploit using that. So actually, we're not getting masonry right now, because even though we just don't see anything that we can do with it.
If you chase 2 rabbits,
Ragnar might be over to our left, and if that's the case, we're gonna have him boxed in, and that means that we're the only ones that he can attack. And we're not happy about that, I'll tell you that. But that's just guessing right now, we don't know for sure. Right now we're going to work under the assumption that there's nobody up here to our top left, and Ragnar came from somewhere else. I think we're probably wrong about that, though. I think that probably is where Ragnar came from. Granaries are one of the best buildings in the game, and so I'd like to get pottery early, even if I'm not building a granary immediately. We're gonna... None of this is particularly appealing to us. We'd like to know where iron is. But maybe we should be operating under the assumption that no one has marble, since we don't. And we should be working towards the oracle. That's one of my favorite wonders. It's very strong and gives you +1 technology, but we're gonna spend 20 turns just trying to get there. If we go for sailing, we don't have a coastal city, and so we can't immediately do anything with that either. We could go for masonry, but we don't have stone. I think we're gonna go for masonry anyways and get the pyramids. The pyramids allow you to swap into any government civics, which can be pretty useful, especially if you're spiritualist, because you can swap early and often, but we're not spiritualist. Here's Darius. Again, the fact that we met Ragnar first and we haven't found him is really concerning to me. We're gonna road over here. We're not spiritualists, though. The main reason we want the pyramids is that we can get the great engineer points. Great engineers are my favorite great people, because they're basically just one free wonder, especially at this early game. We still don't know where Ragnar is. It's becoming a real concern. If he is right on our butt, like I think he might be, we really gotta sweat that one, because he will attack us at some point, and we're just going to have to accept. I had really hoped that this would end up being a peaceful game, but if Ragnar's around and we're the only one he can attack, we're going to have to accept that that's not going to be the case. But we don't know for sure yet. We're worrying about nothing right now. get another settler out, and then we'll head towards... Well, we're not going to be settling over here. We might get a city here, and we'd like a city maybe here, or maybe here. I want a coastal city. Maybe here. I don't think this down here, this territory is worth much. And I don't want to mess with Saladin. He's not quite the peace man that Mansa-Musa is, though I'm not worried about him. He's definitely not a warmonger. I think the only warmonger in this game is Ragnar.
What deserves to be read.
Okay. We know we're not getting any of these wonders. We've already written them off, so we're gonna go for ironworking. That's where our unique unit is, ironworking. It's pretty strong, but we do need iron to build it. And if we don't have iron, yeah, here's Ragnar. So we're really not happy to see that. But we do have a bit of a break. This area is not good to settle in, and Ragnar probably won't settle there immediately. If he has other territory, he can. We want to settle down here and then deal with what's going on over here, because the down south is the better territory. We're the only one that Ragnar can attack, though, so we're going to have to essentially bet on it. That doesn't really worry me, though. I mean, it does, but it doesn't. It doesn't surprise me. We're in a good spot. The last game I played, I started in Tundra. And that really is not good news. I ended up expanding a bit too quickly, actually, and going bankrupt. I've been doing this thing recently when I play, where I expand too quickly or I do too much early war, and I just end up going nowhere. And this sort of more peaceful, slow strategy is what I'm more used to. It's good to branch out. It's good to master other things. But sometimes you just want to do what you know works and win. And that's what I'm doing right now. We're going to want calendar. These two sources are pretty good. These two dye sources. We could maybe even keep going southeast. We don't really want to go too close to Darius. We do have iron up here that we could settle. We could go like right here. Get a coastal city. See, here's the marble up here. Nobody's built any wonders so far. That's a little strange because both the Mali, Saladin, and I believe Persia are pretty inclined towards building wonders. That may be telling us that they don't have resources either, and Ragnar might be the one who has resources, and he's not inclined to doing things with it. We're happy to be his friend. If we could be his friend rather than being concerned about him invading us, we'd be pretty pleased with that. We're just not counting on it.
Which will return against you.
We don't need any of this. We'll get... so, we could go Judaism. And it did spread to our capital. If we do that, we just have to accept that Saladin's going to hate us, but we get to be friends with Mansa-Musa. But he might change religions. He does have stone. But I don't see any marble still. I'm not sure. we are seriously thinking about selling this city just to get that iron. And then maybe another city, like, here. It's not good, but it's not terrible either. And it'll provide us a way to keep Ragnar out. Not every city has to be a great one. But if some of them were great, that'd be pretty good. We're not going to worry about that city for a little while. A lot of its tiles are jungle. And we just don't want to pay attention to it. Okay. I think I've talked myself into settling this city pretty quickly here. For the iron. Buddhism spread, so we could convert to that too. We're also getting the culture from both religions while we're not in, while we don't have a religion chosen. That's not worth very much. Well, actually, it's pretty strong in these two cities. It's not worth much in our capital, is what I had meant. So Darius built the Great Wall, which means he probably has stone. He does have stone. He probably has more stone than we see. I don't know if we're going to get the Great Pyramids, but if we don't, we'll get a bunch of money. And while it sort of sucks to get set back, and that's probably a restart on higher difficulties, on this one we'll be okay. I'm just going to tough through it. We haven't even gone into slavery yet. Even though we have bronze working. And that's because we don't have the population to whip anyhow. Judaism is pretty widespread in our country, but we're sort of waiting to see where the other AI go.
If in other sciences we should arrive at certainty without doubt and truth without
I really
error,
like currency.
it behooves us to place the foundation
I'm going to get alphabet first, because there's better beakers. Beakers are, by that I mean science. It's better science to get alphabet. But currently, we have too many cities, we're not making enough money, and we're losing a lot. It's not the position we want to be in. But we had to expand quickly because we had a lot of neighbors that we knew we didn't want to tangle with. I don't regret it. Yet. Maybe I will. Yeah. These two hate each other. And I'm okay with being friends with either of them. Saladin's probably the more competent AI. But I haven't actually gotten his religion, so it's not even worth talking about being his friend right now, because I might just not get his religion. So, we should be building archers to defend these cities, but it's not a big deal. Axemen are pretty good as well. We're mostly, again, founding this city. It's not a great city, even though I think later on it'll be a little better. But we're mostly founding it just to keep Ragnar away from us. We're gonna get walls here pretty quick. It's kind of a shame this start that we didn't have the things we would need to really wonder spam, because this is a great civilization for doing it. You're also the worst enemy of Ragnar, but we expect that we're gonna take his place pretty soon. So we're gonna accept. Saladin will be upset with us for a little while. And we should really worry about Saladin attacking us. Because even though he's not the warmonger, he is a warmonger. No. it might be a mistake to work with Mansa Musa, but he's a pretty valuable ally as far as tech goes. And Darius is also his religion now. Well, we said we wanted this city. Let's go found it. We're gonna change civics as soon as we get pyramid. And we're gonna change religion. And we're gonna say yes to this. We're just gonna accept that Saladin and Ragnar are probably not going to like us this game. And we're gonna be friends with the other two guys on the continent. And hopefully they're helpful to us. And if they're not, it's gonna be a real shame. So we did get the pyramids after all. Ragnar got the oracle. I think that tells us that nobody has nobody has the Great Library. Nobody has the Great Library? That's not what I meant to say. It tells us that nobody has marble, which means we could go for some of those left side of the or top side of the tech tree wonders, which would be pretty strong for us. But right now our tech is so bad that we can't think about doing anything. That's because we've done so much expansion. We're probably just going to auto our workers at this point. One thing, we don't have enough. So we're going to get more. But yeah, we're just going to auto them. And that should help a lot, actually. Darius completed the Hanging Gardens, Confucianism over in Ragnar's land. So Ragnar's going to be pretty isolated. Even if Saladin hates us, Ragnar and Saladin aren't going to be friends. We're pretty happy to hear that. That's a shame. We only want one more city, and it's going to be right up here, if we can get it. And after that, I think we have an empire that can go into the late game, even though we lost out on a bunch of wonders because we expanded too aggressively. We'll be pretty happy with our situation then.
They can change our world.